Okay, guys, here we go for another number talk. Say if I had this rectangle. If you've ever been in Mrs. Clarence's world, or a room, you know about Mrs. Clarence's imaginary world. A fish is a fish is a fish. If I tell you this is a square, it's a square. Because I didn't get a ruler out and draw one. So let's pretend that these are all squares. And that I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares there. And I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares here. Let's pretend, just for the sake of argument, that they were inches. Now, we would know that we had a total area of 30 square inches. Now, here's the thing we're going to start working on, though. We're going to start working on what if you didn't know how many were over here. What if someone forgot to fill in the rest of the squares? This will happen sometimes when you're taking a test. You will see things that will have parts filled in and parts not filled in. And they will ask you to figure out what this is. You can do that a couple of ways. You can either go ahead and draw in your lines and separate it up, because you can see over here that there's 5, and this side is the same length, so that must be equal. So you would know it was 5. So you could either draw it back in and figure out it was 5, or if you didn't have any of this, because sometimes they will do that to you. You have no squares drawn in. And they tell you that that side on the top is 6 inches. And you have to figure out what this is. They also tell you the total is 30. If you know about area and you know that length times width equals area, then you would know that you had some number that was over here times 6 equals 30. Now that we know about fact families, we could say, hey, if that something times 6 equals 30, then I could figure that out by doing a different way. Think, how could I figure that out? I bet you were screaming division at the screen. You could take the total amount, the 30 square inches, and divide it by 6, and then you could figure out what this number was. It takes 5 6s to equal that. Now this is where it gets tricky, because this answer is in square inches, and this area is always in square units, which happens to be inches this time. But length and width are not in squares. So this would just be inches, because you would just be taking the 5 inches times the 6 inches. And when you multiply them, that's where you get the square, because you're counting all the sides of it. 30 square inches. I hope that helps. Let us know if you're still having questions about this. We love you, we miss you, and we hope you guys have a great day.